Hello. Today we'll start working on statistics. So I'm starting a new series for a statistics uh, uh, subject in which we will discuss about. I'll tell you about how statistics and the data has been measured and calculated, because in each segment of mathematics or in computer science or in commerce or in research or in surveys or any reports, we are facing a large number of data, and these data must be manipulated, calculated, and assembled and gathered for compiling and interpolation and presentation of data requires every time. So for this we need to study about statistics. So we have to study and work through through measuring the data. So we will in this series we will start learning. This is how we can start with the basic central tendency of measurement of any statistic data. So this is how we can start with. So if we try to look into the problem, the statistics is an important branch of mathematics which is directly widely used in variety of traditional disciplines. As I already told you, it is into economics, commerce, research, surveys, etc. So in this present digital age, emerging technologies like data science and machine learning have boomed up, and these technologies are centered around statistics. So after all, statistics is all about the collection and interpretation and the presentation of data. So basically, the statistics provide insight into the data. So as I also worked in my recent past, as per my experience, I also faced a lot of vital stats data. So this vital stats data, or any kind of data science things you did in your past, or you doing right it currently. So these data needs to be calculated. The simple way to calculate a data, if you want to search a particular number, particular name, particular address, particular um, um, zip code or pin ID, pin code. So these things will be calculated towards through any of the data, your client's date of birth, etc. So 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 how will you calculate? First thing first. So first thing, it is how much data is present in your database. So if you're created your data itself, it may be 100 or 100,000. That will not a issue. But the thing how you will create means how will you interpret those data. So first it will come up by sum of the data. Su- how much the data is, capacity of the data, the number of data. The number of data will be n. So n number of data will you have in your database, or till the nth term. So these terms are to be calculated, to be interpreted. So how? So this is the starting point where we start thinking about how we can calculate our data. So the tendency is to create essential statistical concept is the measure of central tendency, that this is a measures an important way to summarize the data set with one representative value. So this measure provides a rough picture of where data points are centered. So the commonly used measure central tendencies are mean, median, and mode. So you already heard. I think some of the students might know that we already did in secondary classes, that mean, median, mode. We studied about that also. And in this, if we talk about overall what we do, this is the basic thing. But when we start doing data interpretation, so mean provides an average value, is termed as the mean of the data set. So it is very easy to calculate the mean. Step first, you have to count the number of data values and let it be n, and then add the data values, let the sum will be s, and the mean, what will be the mean, and sum of the data values S and divided by total number of data values, that means n. So what it is? So we are talking about n values. Number of values will be n. So number of values, and it will be S for uh, sum of the values. So the mean will be sum of the values up divided by n. So let's suppose we have data, number of data. We have number of data. So in this data set we have data in this form. This is a grid table. So in this form we have data. So the data will be present over here in the form of sequence or series. So this will be termed as nth term, and it will be nth term, and the sum of this term means, okay, so not calculate as n, it calculate as 6. So the term is n, number is n, and sum is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That means 21. So 6, 5 is 11. 11 plus 4 14, 11 plus 4 15, 15 plus 3 18, 18 plus 2 20, and 20 plus 1 is 21. So the sum will be 21 and the number is 6. So the mean of this table will be 21 by 6. So this is how we can calculate the simple mean, which will be average value is termed as a mean data set. So if we try to calculate with a median data set, so the middle value of the sorted data is calculated as a median. Consider the data set comprises n element. The step, like we have n element or 6 element we discuss about. Step to calculate the median. Step 1, the data set is arranged in either increasing or decreasing order. So as I created the order here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is in sorted order. This is in ascending order, increasing order. So the data set is arranged over here. And if the data set has an odd number of data values, that means n is equal to odd, then the middlemost value of the sorted data set is computed as the median. If this says the median value is 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, this is an even number. If suppose we have 7 over here, so this is odd series, and this is, if we leave 3 of here, 3 of the values here, it will be, our median will be 4 odd values. So that is why he told that if the data set has odd number of values, then the middlemost value of the sorted data set is computed as the median. In other words, we can say n plus 1 divided by 2, place of the median will be data set. So we can say like this, n is number of term is 7, number of term is 7 plus 1 is equal by 2, that means 4. So that is also we can calculate by this. And step 3, if we find the median, then if the data set has even number of values and the average of two middle values is computed, the median. So the two values will be, mean will be n by 2 and n by 2 plus 1. This is the median of the data set. So there is if the data set has even number of the data values, n is equal to even, the average of two middle values is computed as the median, average of two middle values. Okay. So we will, if we talk like how we can calculate mode. So the most frequently occurring value in the data set is called mode. Steps to calculate the mode. Step 1 is use tally marks to identify how many times each data value occurs in the data set. And step 2 is the data value with maximum tally is the mode of the data set. So we created like a mode. So the most frequently occurring value in the data set is called a mode. Okay, frequently occurring. So usually marks to identify how many times each data occurs in the data set. So example will be we set we consider the example. So we can consider we have some certain example over here. So they consider that the weight in kgs of 5 children are available over here: 36, 40, 32, 42, 30. So the mean, median, mode we have to calculate. The mean will be sum of these values and number of values. So of these values is 180 and number of values is 5. So 180, 36 is the mean. Median will be arranged in the ascending order. So it will be arranged in ascending. That means 30, 32, 36, 40, 42. So this is created, and the middle value is 36. But 2 leave here, 2 leave here, and the odd values available is here. So 36 is the median. If we talk about mode, so 36 kg occurs most number of times. You can see. So mode 36 kg, and we saw the mean, median, and mode are the same. 36 occurs in the 36 kg occurs most number of times. So to consider the ages of, like, for next example, we consider the age of 30, 32, 30, 38, 60 years. Calculate the measure of the central tendency. Measures of central tendency are mean, median, mode. Obviously, the question is tricked here over here. If someone asks about the mean, median, mode, that is same also. And if someone is asked about measure of central tendency, then it is same. So mean will be calculated over here, the sum of the values, and divided by number of values. So it will be 38 here. Median will be over here. So leave 2 values over here, leave 2 values over here, and if data is sorted, so the sorted data, remember the sorted data. So 32 will be the median, and 30 years occur most number of ties. Times. So mode is 30. 30 is 2 times it is shown over here. So 30, 36, 30 will be the mode. So the next example will be 5 student A, B, C, D, E appears in the test and scored 80, 95, 90, 85 and 100 marks respectively. Find the mean. Okay. So how will we calculate mean? A, B, C, D, E appeared in the test and scored 80. That means number of students was 5, and some of the marks will be 440. So mean will be available over here. And example 4 will be so I think you are getting what I right now trying to tell you. And if we talk about the next example, a batsman scores an average of 48 runs in 6 matches. So 48 runs in 6 matches. If he scores 5 matches, 5 matches is 51. This the score of the 6 match would be. So we have to calculate the total number of matches is 6, and the total average is also provided over here. So we have average, but we have numbers, but we do not have last values, one values only. So we will sum up these values, we will divide by the number of value, and the mean average and mean will be available over here. So the x will be calculated as 53 if we try to find an average. This is find an average, but we have that average, but we do not have one number, so one number would be calculated over here. The average of 5 consecutive odd numbers is 15. If we say the average of 5 consecutive odd number is 15, that means we have and find numbers. So what will be numbers? So odd number is 15. So we will say smallest odd number will be x. So other number are we can say x plus 2, x plus 4, x plus 6 and x plus 8. So given the average is 15. So we can say x is the provided value x plus 2 is here, x plus 4, x plus 6 and x plus 8 divided by 5, it will be 15. So we will say 11. So the numbers are x is 11, then the 11, 13, 15 and 17. So always remember, whenever the consecutive odd values, you will say 5 consecutive odd values, so it will be plus 2 always, because leaving one value at a time. So so we will find an only odd numbers or only even numbers, the value will be x plus 2 over here. Okay. So next would be if a teacher reported a mean of 35 marks in a class of 20 students. So later she realized that the marks of a student were actually 45, but by mistake she had written as 25. So find the correct mean marks of the class. So the mean is 15, obviously already given over here. Number of students is 20, so total number of marks will be 700. Now corrected sum, 700 minus 25, which is she had returned, and plus 14, which is was actually. So the 720 numbers is the correct number, and if we divide by 20, then it will be 36. So correct mean will be 36, which was previously 35. We can create the distribution of n mean. So mean is highly impacted by the extreme values in the data set. If the data set is symmetric, the mean value is located exactly at the center. However, in skewed distributions, the mean values is pulled away from the center. So mean is highly impacted and extreme values in the data set. If the data set is symmetric, the mean value is located exactly at the center. Or in skewed distribution, the mean value is pulled away from the center. Case 1 we can say symmetric distribution. Consider symmetric distribution. Assume the monthly salary of an employee in an organization 30k, 40k, 35k, 32k and 38k rupees. So will the mean of the values are, number of values are 5, some of the values are 175, and the mean will be 35k. So this is symmetric distribution. We say symmetric distribution, the median, we will say the median will be sorted. After sorting, the sense the median will be 35, will be so no clear mode, as all the data values occur in the same number of times. So so we can say we do not have mode. We do not have mode because median or mean are all there, but the mode is not available because the same number occurs every time. So the mean this is a symmetric distribution over here. So mean and mode are equal. So mode in the symmetric distribution, and skewed distribution is where one value is exceptionally different from other values. The mean value changes drastically. So that is why we say this is a position where skewed distribution provided. Okay. So skewed distribution is provided. So we'll say, let's suppose we have a scenario in where employees is promoted. Someone is promoted and he gets an awesome hike in the salary. So assume that his salary changes from 38k per month to 85k per month. In this case, of the right skew, as the data value has been shifted towards the right. According to the figure, we expect that the mean should be more than the median. Okay. So mean would be more than the median. So let us compute the median and mode. So mean will be 25. This is 2225 divided by 45k rupees. Okay. So 88 is the new value. I think we are discussing 85. 85 is the new value. So median will be sorted over here, and data set is provided. So let me check the previous data set. Yeah, the previous data set was there here. Since the middle values is sorted is 35k, we can conclude that median will be 35k salary. Thus, we saw that the mean value is changed, but the median value is still 35k rupees. So it is evident that the mean value is extremely sensitive to changes in the data, and however the median is relatively stable. So always remember that whenever some data has been changed in mean, so your drastic effect will be affected on certain distribution of the skew distribution on the mean. So if we try to implement this this tendency of the tendency, so we can say mean is the preferred measure of the central tendency where data when data is normally distributed, and median is the best measure of the central tendency when the data is skewed. And while the dealing with nominal value variables, the model is best measure of central tendencies. So this is how we can conclude the mean median mode, where the most important measures of the central tendency, the complete data set may be represented by these values. So it is not necessary for mean, median and mode to have the same values. Mean is sensitive to extreme data values. It is not wise to take the mean of a skewed distribution as the true representative of the data set. Median is the better way to understand skewed distribution. Mean and median cannot be zero unless the data values are zero. However, it is possible that there is no mode in the data set. So these are the calculation we provided over here, that median is a better way to understand skewed distribution, as I already told you here, and mean and median cannot be zero always unless all the data values are zero. So however, it is possible that there is no mode in the data set. One example also we saw. So this is how we create in a data set, we create a statistics in a particular data set. So this is a central tendency over here to measure any data set in a statistics or mathematics or commerce student or economics student, or some research or surveys or some vital set data, just like I did. So that is how we can create and create statistics over the data basically. So this is how we can create for like if you do not know about this mean median mode, the simple tendency simple we are measuring the accountancy by we are calculating sum, we are calculating the number of values. So these are basic approaches which follows towards this tendency, and this tendency will help gathering the information correct and will implement in our program, which will be the final product of your work. So this is how we try to approach towards the data sets. So we'll provide you next video. In next video, the next basic or at some advanced level statistic operations we perform on data sets. So we'll discuss later. Thank you.